All right, I wanted to do a little video this morning with the light on my chin and in my face as I stare out my front window. Good morning, sun. I want to do this on bodies and institutions and naming, I suppose. And there are many times I would say that a name or a label that we call something is there's where an institution will match a body in proper naming, but then there's probably improper naming, and this probably has to do with emanation and emergence. And but I want to highlight differences between bodies and institutions. So I would say fundamentally bodies are multi-unities. That's what a body is. A body is a unity of a multiplicity. It is a combined whole of it's many different parts, but working as one. And so like a cup is a body. It's a unity of parts. Basically anything that is a body. Myself, I have a body. I have a physical body, but then there's also arguably a body, a spiritual body, a soul of my whole being that is in and outside of time. So it extends into the past, it extends into the future. It is not equivalent to the atoms that make up my body, etc. And hey, cardinal, we have a little family of cardinals that hangs out at our house. Can you see them? Hi. Outside the window, sitting up there on the roof. Can you see my cardinal by the flying? Oh, he left. Sad. It's a family of cardinals. There's different. I don't know which ones are the men and the women. One of them is lighter, but they both have the crest and the orange beaks, but the bright orange ones are cool. They're both cool. We have a little bird bath in the back. It's nice. I like birds. All right, bodies, though, are, being that they are multi-unities and that they're fundamentally relational, they do not ever exercise. There's a couple dynamics I want to bring out. Is they are not systems. You can model systems onto them, but they're not systems. So like the human body, Paul brought this up in the levitating video, the live stream yesterday, the saints levitating and witches and whatever. But he was saying that, bodies have cardiovascular systems, pulmonary systems, whatever. But those are models. I would argue fundamentally that those are not systems. They are just ways of understanding how the body functions and operates and metabolizes things, but all of that is downstream of mechanistic machine thinking, which is highlighted very much in like people saying these are meat suits and calories in, calories out. They think of food as like a gasoline in a car. They think of the human body as a machine, and it's fundamentally not. Families, I think, are bodies. Cultures are bodies. Nations are bodies. Cities are bodies. States are bodies. Uncle Sam is a body. There are spiritual bodies, there are physical bodies, there are all kinds of bodies. And they are multi-unities, and they work, I would say bodies fundamentally work on love and sacrifice, which is a giving and a receiving. Whereas institutions can do that, but as a rule and fundamentally what they are is they are systems that are mechanistic, and they work on power versus authority. Authority is always harmonious and symbiotic, synergistic. This is the difference between power and authority. That's something that my boy Nate talks a lot about, and I fundamentally agree with him. But authority is always legitimate. This is the distinction I like to make. This is the way I'm defining it. Authority is always voluntarily accepted. There is a unity with one's will, and so there's a rightful authority, and it is voluntarily submitted to out of mutual love. I would say within Christianity, the Father and the Son have that, and then Christ and the Church have that. Parents and children have that. It should always be a loving thing, but it's always for the good. It's a hierarchy, but the higher serves the lower. Philippians 2. That is how bodies function. The head serves the body. The head should not demand from and extract from and take advantage of and abuse and pillage the body. That's not what the head is meant to do, because that the head needs the body, or the head will die. because that's what it is, the body. If you sever the two, if you decapitate the head from the body, if you divorce the two from each other and they're not working in this harmony, it's no good. But institutions can work that way. Again, they can work that way, but they often don't, because it's rooted in the letter and the literal and the written. Institutions, I would argue again, are fundamentally, they have evolved and they exist in the written world, in the technology of the written word, in the medium and the message stuff, McLuhan. And institutions work very often. They can work with authority, but they work very often, and I would say bodies can't. Bodies can't work with power dynamics. And this gets into like postmodern critiques of power and interpreting everything as power, and Jordan Peterson's whole problem with whatever his labeling is of the radical neo-Marxist fundamental, postmodernist, what's he call them? Interpreting everything as power. Well, they're not, because bodies cannot function on power. They'll die. They'll separate. If a body functions on power, it will antichrist, split, divide. And Christ is Colossians 1, bringing everything together, uniting everything. Christ is the unity of anything that is. The logos, however you want to say it. Again, don't use my words and divide over them, or else we're operating in an institutional way and set over and against. But that's why institutions, this is why you get into all these bureaucratic problems in institutions, and where executive boards are exercising power over and against the rest of the corporate body or the institutional body. But again, that's what institutions do, because they're applying the letter of the law and legalism, which is why we're hiring all these lawyers. This is what the corporate institutionalism of the modern world gets into, is its power over and against. And bodies fundamentally can't operate that way. All right, hopefully that clarifies institutions and body stuff. I could keep riffing on it, but I'll just leave it at that for now. 7 minutes. Hope all of y'all are well, and I would love your engagement and your thoughts and affirmations, because that always feels good, but also loving body-like pushback. Not over and against, not zero sum, not tearing down, but for this arguing for the sake of heaven, thank you, Chezi, or, loving dialogos and tension, iron sharpening iron, whatever. All right. Peace be with you. God bless. And Lord have mercy.